Oh man, it has been some time since I did a keyboard review. This is a Kzzi, I guess I'll call it Kzzi, Kzzi mechanical keyboard 175. Key. This one here, oh, quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I guess they want me to type that. I don't normally type that, but I guess I will. It's a relatively low profile keyboard. I like low profile keyboards. I use them. This is a mechanical low profile keyboard. I use right now a non-mechanical low profile keyboard, mainly because it's low profile. So this is going to be nice because it's a low profile, but it's also mechanical. Oh, that's a really nice looking keyboard. Right off the bat, that's a very nice looking keyboard. So it's a low profile mechanical keyboard. We are going to have to open it up and look at the switches. We can look at some of the options together in a moment, but let's see here what's going on. So I here ended up with the white designed one here, right? Nice low profile keyboard. Very nice. Now let's have a quick look at the website together, see what different options they have, and come back. We can take a look at this one that I have. And just taking a quick peek here at the website, we do have the white one, which we're looking at here. It's kind of a white and gray. We have a black one, which has a nice kind of dark green on it. And the pink one, I debated getting the pink one, but I just thought it was a little versatile on camera to show off a white model. And then of course you do have the little cases there. A few different options here. So you have the Kale, as a Kale key here, Islet, I guess it would be. And then you have the Kale White. Here I have the Kale White. Looking through the colors here, a couple different options. Aluminum top ring. Then you do have those Kale linear switch, quiet switch. I have the Kale White there. Should be nice and quiet. Multi-gasket setup there. Nothing too complicated, just a nice pretty keyboard. Let's jump in. Okay, so let's start with the actual design of the keyboard. It's a nice firm chassis, relatively thin, but doesn't have really much flex unless you really give it, right? Because we do have that ring around there. Nice little ring giving it some support. Feels nice. This one here has a creamy type color. Let's bring that light in a little bit there. It's not white, it's off-white, creamy. This is like an off-gray. This is an off-white. You can see it's not really a gray color. It's more of a just off-white kind of eggshelly type thing. A little bit of a, I guess, gray undertone. On the back there we get a natural wedge raising it up. So you're just going to get a little bit of a natural wedge as it is. But you do have 3 feet. So you have 1, 2, 3, depending on your options. Your 2.4 gigahertz dongle is tucked in the back there. Very good. A nice little metal faceplate there. Looking pretty nice. On the top there we do have USB-C, which is one option, which we're in right now. We do have 2.4 gigahertz, which is the dongle back there. And then we do have the option for Bluetooth, depending on what you want to use. Very nice. Very, very nice. We get a little knobby thing here for volume up, volume down. It does have dedicated arrow keys, which for me is key. I do not really like non-embedded. I don't really like embedded arrow keys. You know, I have used other low profile keyboards and sometimes they're fully integrated and I use a lot of spreadsheets and I hit them a lot, which is super annoying. And I really do enjoy and appreciate separate keys over here, specifically page down, page up, and delete. Again, if you use a lot of spreadsheets or even websites, but mainly spreadsheets, this is an invaluable addition there. So you can go end all the way up, page down. It helps a ton, honestly. Very, very good. You also get dedicated function keys. That's also very important for me because I like function keys, but also I just like to easily come up here and use those there. I don't use too many function keys, but I do use a lot of, you know, embedded things. So brightness up, brightness down, mail, search, media. That's a sleep button. Back, forward, play, volume, mute, volume down, volume up. So those are all really nice to have individually. And then it does do Windows and Mac, of course. So you have, you know, Windows/Option, Command/Alt, Control/Control. Very good. Same things over there. Looking very nice. Before we get into a typing test, let's look here. We have these light blue mechanical switches under there. Right, it's a linear switch. Very nice. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll actually look at the keycap itself. All right, typical key switch there. So, you know, nothing proprietary. You wouldn't be able to switch these out in the future. The key printing is good. All right, nice key printing. A little bit of see-through there. It's not just like a print on, it's actually a see-through part right? You can see the J kind of going through. So when the lighting on the keyboard is on, you will actually be able to see through. It's not just going to be a shine around key, it's going to be a shine through key, which is nice because if you're using it at night, you'll be able to do that. It's just generally an aesthetic looking keyboard. I like the off-white with the silver there. They sent this over to me and they asked me which color I wanted. I was like, obviously. So there you go. Very good. Obviously there's some, right now the effect that's going on with the RGB is the one where it lights up when you touch it. That's fine. What I'm actually going to do here to start is a typing test. It already sounds very nice. Key switch, you do get a decent amount of travel despite being a thin low profile keyboard. You do get a decent amount of travel, right? You can see how much travel there is there. So you do get a lot of travel on those key switches there. Right? The key caps are low profile and the key switch is relatively low profile, but despite that you get a ton of travel. Okay, so what do I think about the typing experience there? It's really nice actually. That is a very smooth key switch there. Very, very, very smooth. Feels fantastic. And the actual chassis is rigid enough and structurally sound enough. And the keycap material is nice so that when you bottom out, it gives you a nice sound. If you're a heavy typer, and even that sounds okay. I'm a middling or even light typer, where I don't necessarily need to bottom out. I have heavy hands, but I don't necessarily need to bottom it out. So I try to not slam my keyboard down, and it feels quite nice. Yeah, honestly, it just took me a minute to get the hang of it because I haven't been using a keyboard like this very much recently. But the shape of the keycap, that kind of circular set there, and it does have a little bit of like a finger groove middle in this area in the middle there. Just takes you a moment to get the hang of it. Once you do, it actually is quite nice. And if you're a touch typist especially, you'll be very good at it overall. So that's very nice. I think that coming from a MacBook or a Mac, like an iMac, with their incredibly shallow keyboards, if you're a Mac user and then you go into a mechanical keyboard, you might normally find a little bit of a shock if you're going with like a full-size mechanical keyboard, like a large keycap, lots of travel. It is a big shift going from, a Mac keyboard in general over to a keyboard like that. Whereas here, you're not going to have that kind of issue because it's still a relatively low profile keyboard. You're not getting crazy travel, but you are still getting a lot more travel than a Mac. It's infinitely better than a Mac keyboard. Like you can't even compare them. But what I'm saying here is that you'll be able to adjust better. Or someone like me who uses laptops a lot, then all of a sudden using this with your laptop or your desktop that you got, you will find that this feels more comfortable than you might if you went with a different type of keyboard, a large mechanical keyboard. So there is a pretty strong market, I would say, for these type of keyboards. Okay, so let's kill off a little bit of lighting here. Maybe something like that. And what I want to do here is just basically look at some of the shortcuts, but specifically for me, I just want to look at the RGB. To do RGB, yeah, it worked right away. It's pretty common. So that looks really nice actually, because we do have the shine through style keycap where you can actually see through the letter. It shines through. Because this is a gray, light gray kind of board, the colors kind of all go with it, right? Especially these kind of lighter, like the tone of the colors. It looks nice on it in general, so they will look nice. Here we have like a clockwork kind of thing. They kind of all look nice. You're seeing a little bit of flicker, maybe. You might see a little bit of flicker on the camera. I don't see that, just so you know. It's just usually sync thing with the camera. Kind of a multicolor that way, wave coming down. We can do brightness up and brightness down over here, which it also just says there. Yeah, brightness up, brightness down. And then we have the speed. So that's probably kind of middling. You can make it wave faster. You can make it wave slower. It does flash up here when you hit like the end point. So that's the slowest it goes. That's the fastest it goes, for example. Brightest. Okay, let's go through a few more. It's just a static kind of thing. Is there a change color? This one here. Ooh. But having a monocolor switch like that is nice. Blue's kind of nice. Actually, that green yellow looks pretty nice. I mean, this is probably the one I would go with, the purpley color. Blue's nice. White. Multicolor. Red is not really my thing, but green is nice. Not really my thing either. Blue. Yeah. It really is a purple. Anyways, so that's fine. All right. Kind of like that purple. It's nice. Very good. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, you know, the things are very easily labeled, so you don't really have to read it. It's not like it's like, what, how do I get, you know, you get like a really low profile keyboard, a really like small keyboard, it's missing like everything. And then everything is like function this, function that, function that. And you don't know where half the stuff is. There's a secondary printing on everything. We don't have that issue here. Like here we have, you know, you hit function, and then it's like, what do I do? Well, that's print screen, home, and end versus the original ones. You know, the colors there. Some of the other ones like pause screen, insert, that are very uncommon, I would say, for most people, are up here. You know, your typical volume down, straightforward. You can switch between Mac and Windows easily. So you go function for Mac, function for Windows. These are useful for people like me who use a Mac. Oh, you can't see it. Who use a Mac and use a Windows. Both of them. I use both of them. So that's nice. And then you have your Bluetooth. So you can go to Bluetooth mode, 1, 2, and 3, and you can choose the one that you want. So I think, as crazy as it is, I think that's enough for the review. We don't need to really do much more. It's a lovely keyboard. It looks lovely. Very nice attention to detail. The typing experience is quite enjoyable. Honestly, it is quite enjoyable. I like it quite a bit, actually. It goes with a nice, this one specifically is a nice light build, right? For I have kind of a light setup here. It looks quite nice. I'll probably use this one for a little while, you know, toss it in under here. One of the reasons I like low profiles because they fit nicely under there. And then when I'm using it, I can bring it out. It's very nice. So that's a nice keyboard there. Kzzi. I have seen their stuff before. I just haven't, you know, done a lot of reviews on their stuff, but that's a really nice one right there. And this gray is actually really, really aesthetic as well.